welcome to my channel. My name is Franca. This week we're only reading books that have been recommended to me or that have been gifted to me per se. These are all books my coworker has given me that she enjoyed, some she didn't, but we're gonna see if I enjoy them. So our three options for this are Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater, Better Than Fiction by Alexa Martin, and Better Hate Than Ever by Chloe Leese, I believe. Leese? I don't know how you pronounce that. But those are the books we've got, so let's get into reading. So, I just finished Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater, and I loved this book. This book was like 239 pages, not including like an excerpt from another book. But I don't think I've had a book that was like this short that was this well done. I really loved the writing. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. The storyline was good. It is like a Regency kind of thing, which I feel like this really gave me like Bridgerton vibes meets fairies. So imagine like Bridgerton X A Court of Thorns and Roses. So I really did enjoy it. I wasn't sure in the beginning if I was gonna enjoy it because I was like, it's a Regency book. I have no idea what it's about, but it was actually really good. But the way I don't know if this is like her writing style or if she specifically did this for this book, but the way she writes, I think also very much gives like Old English. So like reading the book, I was like, sometimes I was like, what the heck? Why are they talking like that? But it's because they were talking in Old English. And I feel like that gave the effect that everything in this was like really old and from like Old English. And the fact, I don't know if this is considered a novella, but this was actually so good. From looking at the cover, I would have thought that this book sucked, if I'm being 100% honest, but it was actually really good. I really did enjoy it. I know there's a couple other books in this series. I know there's The Lord something, 10,000 Stitches, and Long Shadow. So can't wait to pick those up and read those because this was actually so good. In case you're wondering, I did give this book a 4-star. I didn't give it quite a 5-star because I feel like it was just so short and not typically, you know what I mean? Like, I really enjoyed it. It was a page turner, but like, I feel like it was also so short that I like, as much as I liked these characters, I didn't like fall in love with the characters, you know what I mean? Which I feel like normally happens when a book's really short. But yeah, this is a good, I would suggest this read if you finish a long series. Like after reading the entire Throne of Glass series, reading this was like so easy because reading this after the Throne of Glass series honestly like didn't make me feel like I wasn't reading enough, you know what I mean? Because I think Tower of Dawn, I took a break on Tower of Dawn because my book was like a misprint. I was like, I don't know where to find these like 20 extra pages, and I was like, I don't want to just skip ahead. So I did take a break, and I think there went like 1 to 2 weeks without reading, which is crazy for me. But like after getting out of that big series, like picking up something light and easy and a small book that's like a little novella actually worked wonders because I didn't feel like, oh my god, I have to get into a whole new story kind of thing. So I would suggest this as like a like filler book in between like series if you were interested, or in between like thicker kind of books, whereas like Throne of Glass, the last book, Kingdom of Ash, was like 900 freaking pages, and at some point I was like, I don't think every time I like to read in like increments of like 50 pages at a time or like 100 pages at a time if I'm feeling generous. Um, so when I was putting in like my 50 pages and it's like you've read 2% of Kingdom of Ash, I was so disheartened. So reading like 50 pages of this and being like 15% in was like made me feel like I was like getting somewhere, especially because I don't know why, but like Goodreads doesn't tell you like how many books ahead or behind you are, which I absolutely hate now because obviously I have a reading goal and it tells me how many books I've read, but it doesn't tell me if I'm on track. And I feel like having that was actually really helpful for me at least because I know if I'm ahead, like I know if I'm behind, because I know if I'm behind, like oh my gosh, I can be like, oh dang, I need to read more. But now I don't know where I am because I read that whole series and I read a bunch of big books that took me a while. And now I'm like, I don't know where I stand. I don't know where I stand in how well I'm doing if I'm gonna read my books. But for my calculations, if I read like 6 books per month, then I should be good. But I don't want to do the math myself. I would like them to tell me. So we are on to the next book. I don't know which one I'm going to choose, but we will see. Remember the last time I said anything? I think I did talk about this book. So we're going to ignore that book. And then when I'm editing, if I forgot it, we'll add it in. These two books. Better Than Fiction, Better Hate Than Ever. First up, I read this book. This book took me like a month, possibly 2 months to read because I absolutely hated it so much. I gave it 2 stars. I gave it 2 stars because it could have been worse, but it had potential and it just fell short for me. I really liked the storyline she was like hyping up in the beginning, and I thought that was new, and like talking about like grief and stuff like that isn't something that's like typically done in a lot of like the books that I've read so far. So I was like, oh, perfect, something new. And this had a lot of potential for me, and it sucked so bad because I feel like I was reading someone's diary, like a teenage girl's diary, because what the heck was going on? They like tell you that like the love interest is like really hot, and like I get that, and but also like every girl character that interacted with him was like, oh my god, like what do I do? 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 And like every time they described the girl, the like girl main character was like, oh my god, like that girl's like so lovesick over him. And like I was like, girl, so are you. What are you talking about? And I feel like it was kind of not exactly supposed to be like enemies to lovers, but like they don't get off on like the right. But like she's like not interested in him in like the beginning. And then they like make a deal to do something, and then they have to spend more time together, and then she realizes, oh my god, like you're amazing. But also tell me why, girly pop, you don't like books. But she's like running her grandma's bookstore and she doesn't like books. And I was like, the audacity is crazy. I didn't like that either. But that was like a very like nitpicky thing. But I'm like, girl, you're literally running a bookshop, and the only reason she reads books is for this guy. And I was like, that's actually wild. Like if you don't like books, don't only read them for a guy. Like that's crazy. I don't know. The main character's personality just irked me, and the whole book was in her point of view. So anytime she explained anything, I was like instantly irked. I was like, I don't even care what happens anymore. Like I'm not interested in you. I don't like you as a character. Yeah. The guy was like kind of alright, but then there's also like a couple side plots that like never kind of get like investigated, I guess you could say. I might as well kind of spoil it for you because I would not recommend reading this one. So apparently like her dad, like out of the picture, he has a new wife and he has another daughter that like he's more invested in, but he wants his mom's bookshop. So he's like constantly coming to like try and take it over and like trying to scheme his way into getting ownership of it. But then apparently she doesn't like the stepsister, who she's never gotten along with, apparently. And then like magically they like hang out once and they're besties. Which like you could have been besties years ago. Like what changed? Absolutely nothing. I don't understand it. And I hate when books do that. They're like, oh my god, like here's 2 characters, and they're like, okay, they're besties. But like they just had one conversation. What do you mean they're besties? Like confuses me. Even like It Ends With Us was like that with like Lily and Bile's sister. First of all, her sister's a creep going into a random store that's like not even open. And then like she's like, okay, like I want to work here. And then they're besties. Make that make sense. I literally don't know. I think like what they try and do is like make it like a friendship meet cute kind of thing. And it doesn't work because it makes no freaking sense. But yeah, if you can't tell, absolutely hated this book. And it makes me even more mad and hate this book a little bit more because it had potential for me. It had potential. So that's that. I gave it 2 stars. I didn't like it. If you haven't seen my like recent book haul, I also got a book, I think it's Shoot Your Shot by an NHL wife, ex I don't know if he's still in the NHL. He might be like ex-NHL, but she wrote a book too, and I watch her on TikTok, so I'm excited for that. But because of this book, that book doesn't give me much hope because I actually hated this. So we will see. I think I'm just being petty at this point because I really didn't like this book. But let's move on. The last book I read was Better Hate Than Never. And come to my surprise, I finished this book. And obviously these are books my coworker gave me. So I was like, can't wait to talk about it. And she was like, oh, I didn't even read it. I was like, girl, what do you mean you didn't read it? But this one I gave a 3 stars. I still don't think I like romance books, to be honest. These two, it was a love-hate relationship kind of thing, but like they've grown up together in a sense. But also it's like I don't actually hate you. I like really love you, but like the things you do scare me. So I'd rather pretend to hate you than like you hurt me in a way. And I don't know if I like that because I don't think they actually hated each other. I just think they like really liked each other, but they didn't want to get hurt, so they were like, ugh, I hate you. But their banter in the beginning was really good. I enjoyed that. Overall, I wasn't like too impressed with the book. I guess there's the other sisters' stories, and I feel like sometimes I feel like I like it when it's like a friend group or a family and it's like all their like love stories. But also I feel like it's being a little overdone now because like how many people in your world can have their own separate little love stories? You know what I mean? Like you might as well just invent new characters. You know what I mean? Like take it to a different universe. But yeah, that's about it. It was about fall, so I feel like I should have read this in fall, which I didn't, which I feel like if I looked at the cover a little bit longer, you can very much tell it's fall. But I don't even think it was fall in the story. I think she just really loved like fall stuff, like pumpkin pie and things like that. So I don't know. I do like this one better than fiction. So the ranks are as follows for this video. Half a Soul, loved. Better Hate Than Never, middle. Better Than Fiction, last place. I feel like for sure I'm going to pick up other books related to Half a Soul. I don't know if it's a series or like standalones or like whatever, but I definitely enjoyed this, which I'm like really surprised because it's kind of like old-timey meets like fantasy, and they talk kind of funny, but like I heavily enjoyed this. And it was really small and it wasn't like too much to read. You know what I mean? So, I did like this book. This one, I feel like maybe there's an off chance if I see the other books in the series, I would possibly pick them up just because I like reading. I feel like I don't really care what I read as long as I'm reading. I just like enjoy the act of reading. So, this is a maybe. And this, I feel like I'd only pick up other books from this author or if there's a series to this just to see if I like the author's writing or if I just don't like her writing kind of thing. But like I wouldn't intentionally go pick up another book in this series if it's a series. I think it's a standalone though. But we will see. With that said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to like and comment down below. If you didn't, feel free to leave a hate comment. I'd love to hear your opinion, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.